How the internet brain rot destroyed Gen Alpha. Link to the original video down in the description below. If you like my commentary, reactions, and discussions here on this channel, consider dropping a like or sharing your thoughts in the comments below, or subscribing to check out more videos. I have more on this channel. With that all out of the way, let's get into it.
We cannot raise a generation of kids that are this tuned out, that are this rude, that are this violent.
I teach 7th grade, they are still performing on the 4th grade level.
People have been sharing videos of their children literally having meltdowns after taking the iPad away from them.
What's wrong?
I want an iPad.
As a 12-year-old, the internet taught me too many things I shouldn't know. It has completely ruined me, and I have serious mental health issues. This is just one of the many horror stories about brain rot destroying Generation Alpha. It's gotten so bad that the Oxford Dictionary made brain rot the 2024 word of the year.
Yeah, because these kids are cooked. They're great. It's fantastic to see parents not know how to parent their kids. Fantastic.
Although everyone is complaining about brain rot, most people still don't understand what it is exactly or how much damage it's causing. Today, we'll break it down like never before and show with proof how brain rot is destroying an entire generation. So my goal this year is to give you guys double the amount of videos without sacrificing quality. And to do that, we got to keep growing. So 75% of you guys aren't subscribed, and it would mean the world to me if you did. And I promise to give you more fire content. The disturbing
Y'all guys should go subscribe to them. And me too.
rise of brain rot. Brain rot is the idea that exposure to certain content can turn you into an idiot. It's based on the belief that the internet is rotting the brains of kids who spend too much time watching videos online.
Gen Alpha content is some of the most incoherent brain dead I've ever seen in my life, okay? Like, I can physically feel my brain cells frying every second I spend watching them.
But this isn't...
It's actually that bad. Like, I don't think these adults, a lot of these parents who let their kids participate in this actually watch or know what it is.
Just some theory. A mom saw it happen to her own sons. When the boys were toddlers, she would play videos on her iPad to keep them calm and entertained. It worked so well that she started calling the iPad Peace in a Pocket.
Sometimes you have an important phone call, or you've got a parent-teacher interview or whatever that you just can't be interrupted in, and it's so easy. It's peace in a pocket.
But that peace didn't last. By the time her sons were 9 and 7, they were exhibiting disturbing behavior. The boys didn't want to do anything except watch videos online and play games. They didn't even want to go to school or do homework. And when she tried to take the screens away, this happened.
And they would become sort of aggressive and throw tantrums and that sort of thing if they'd played for ages and ages.
She ended...
It's called addiction. They got hooked. And people say you can't get addicted to your devices. Hey, with how many losers there are on the internet that are constantly complaining on Twitter, yeah, y'all guys are addicts.
Her story with a warning for other parents.
There is something about it that changes their brain.
And she was absolutely right. Researchers found that too much screen time physically changes kids' brains.
One result that keeps showing up, parts of the brain related to reading, language, and decision-making are often weaker in kids who have more screen time.
This shrinking of the brain is what we call brain rot. And by the time parents notice, it's already too late.
What's wrong?
I want an iPad. I really want an iPad.
One mom shared a story about her 7-year-old daughter who got an iPad for Christmas. No one realized how addicted...
And I want to point out something that's very important. A lot of people are like, oh, save the Department of Education, save this, save that. You understand, as somebody who knows and worked in education at some point, the standards of education in America were going down. Like, they were lowering them because it was becoming harder and harder to pass kids because of their behavior or because of their education level. So much so that traditionally these kids who have behavioral issues and education issues in the past would have their own like class and stuff like that to get them where they are. They kind of do have that now, but it's basically half the school. It's basically the whole curriculum for everybody. So the fact of the matter is, when you look at this brain rot, if you look at how the trajectory of how education solves their problems, what do you think they were going to do to solve this problem? Were they going to try to raise the students to higher standards? No. They were going to lower the standards of education again just to allow these kids to pass. So I think people need to understand that, like, there's this like, well, so the Department of Education, and half these teachers don't. I'll be honest, as somebody who worked in education, a lot of these teachers that don't know what they're doing. Okay, and this is something y'all need to think about. Bigger picture here, guys. Brain rot is a real problem, and the solutions that the people we have in power to give solutions to this aren't equipped to make those decisions or make the right decisions. So I feel bad for these kids because they're gonna get the worst end of it. Because these teachers coddle them, they protect them. Oh, you're gonna protect you while also lowering your education standards so that you actually have a terrible life and you can't fucking read. Like, what the fuck, dude? Yeah, no, actually, you know what? I'm anti-education at this point. But hey, fuck the Department of Education. That's all I'm gonna say, bro. What?
This girl was until her birthday party. The house was full of guests, presents, and cake, but none of it mattered. The girl did not talk to any children invited and spent the entire party playing Roblox on her iPad. Generation Alpha is defined as those born from 2010 to 2024. From the moment they could hold one, these kids had iPads in their hands. That's why they've been hit the hardest by brain rot.
She knew exactly how to start it up. She knew from the get-go.
From the moment she wakes up, Violet Bolton can't wait to get on her iPad.
There are about 2 billion Gen Alphas living in the world. What happens when these brain rot kids step into the real world? iPad kids. Studies show that kids who spend too much time online are more defiant and rude to their parents. A perfect example of this happened on a flight from Germany in August 2017. A mother and her child boarded the plane, and right away, you could tell this was an iPad kid. The moment they sat down, the mother asked the flight attendant to turn on the Wi-Fi so her child could use their iPad. We don't know if the Wi-Fi was turned on or not, but as soon as
So they turn off the Wi-Fi until you get into the air. When they get in the air, most of them will turn it back on.
the plane took off, all hell broke loose.
The passengers describe an 8-hour flight from hell with non-stop and nerve-jangling screaming and fussing. They even covered their ears to drown out the 3-year-old.
No matter what anyone did, the child wouldn't.
Hey, but don't worry, guys. Let's lower our education standards. Let's keep doing what we've been doing to keep these kids as dumb as they are. Guys, don't worry. Liberals know what they're talking about. My bad. I didn't even make it political. They're just the ones making those decisions for so long.
Calm down.
But he was climbing all over the chairs. He was just screaming.
Also, I feel a little triggered because I hate loud kids on an airplane. Like, that's my one thing. Like, I will pay extra money. Like, I'm not even rich. I'll be honest. I'm broke now that inflation's crazy right now. But if it meant paying for first class just to know that I'm not sitting around a bunch of kids that are probably going to be crying and whining the whole flight, hey, I'll pay that money. I don't care.
Screaming, would not let up. He was running up and down the aisles.
Some people say the solution is simple. Punish the kid. Spank them. Take away their devices. But what happens when the kid isn't small anymore? Like this 15-year-old Gen Alpha boy who is 6
Good point.
feet.
I actually kind of agree, but I also agree, like, you can't just rely on that. So this is a good point that he's bringing up.
Tall and 270 pounds. In September 2022, his mom allegedly took away his phone as punishment.
Here we
In
go,
retaliation, he destroyed the entire house.
Yo, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to yell. Oh my God, he destroyed the fridge.
Desperate for help, his mother started a GoFundMe to raise money for repairs. But when people started criticizing her son for being spoiled, she tried to change the story. She posted another video saying her son was mentally ill and that his meltdown wasn't over a phone, but the internet wasn't buying it. They thought she was only saying that so more people could feel sorry for her and donate. But this kind of aggression from kids is everywhere now, even in schools.
And this is my point. The foreshadowing is fantastic, isn't it? As somebody, I haven't seen this video, but I know this was going to come up because education, these kids act like crazy lunatics at school. And yet that's when they want to coddle them and be like, oh, so you're acting out, bullying other kids, creating so many problems. And by the way, you don't have like a 504 or like an educational disability. You're just a terrible person. You're just a terrible kid. Let's still coddle them. Like, what the fuck, dude? I swear to God, teachers and administrators these days are some of the cringiest, out of touch people on the planet. I'll be honest. I used to be pro teacher, but nowadays I'm actually super against kind of what the established standard is across the United States.
I've had a student throw chairs at me and shoes because I asked them to get their math book out, but they didn't want to.
And nothing triggers aggression faster than a parent taking away the iPad.
What? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen?
People have been sharing videos of their children literally having meltdowns after taking the iPad away from them. I mean, this one is literally picking up a chair to throw it.
But Gen Alpha kids who aren't lashing out are facing a different emotional problem: depression. In 2021, researchers found that high school kids who spend too much time on TikTok experience memory loss, depression, stress, and anxiety.
Yeah, it's because they're filling they're filling their brains with false sense of realities, and so then they're going. They go to the school and their mirror and they compare themselves to things that aren't like not the normal.
Sometimes even healthy teens start believing they have a mental disorder just because they saw it on TikTok.
Important story for parents to hear. Rise in teens on TikTok self-diagnosing themselves with rare mental health disorders, in most cases that they don't have, after watching videos on the social platform.
But it doesn't stop it.
Hey, isn't it convenient how so many people came out LGBTQ after when this was happening during the pandemic? Isn't it weird how convenient that is? We'll see in a couple years when they go back to normal. But because yeah, not to say that I'm anti-LGBTQ or whatever, but actual gay people, actual LGBTQ will tell you that this whole like self-diagnosing thing or this like I'm gonna try to make myself different so I can be quirky. I'm gonna say that I'm this, I'm saying that I'm that when they're actually not, is kind of a really bad trend. Because it kind of dilutes the actual identity. It ruins the identity. Like say for example, let's say I'm gay, right? And I was born gay. If I suddenly you have your own culture, you have your own identity, you have your own spaces where you can go and feel comfortable. Suddenly TikTok comes out and everybody is suddenly pretending to be gay. They might think they're gay, right? And it's cool that they're exploring it, but now you have all these people who are just trying to pretend to be gay, invading to be trendy and not and to not feel like they're part of the problem of oppressors, right? And now they're invading your spaces. And not only are they invading your spaces, but they're changing it. It's kind of look at the conversation with um a lot of gay men don't like the idea of kids being transition or like putting kids on hormone blockers or being asked to like parents basically grooming their kids to transition at a young age. A lot of gay people are against that and lesbians because it's like you can like the opposite sex and not be transgender. Right? Like that's why some of the biggest critics of these trans movements right now are gay people and lesbians because they're like, so if I'm a woman and I like a woman, imagine your parents transitioning you based on that. Or like you're showing signs that you do, right? Imagine your parents groom you into convincing you to do that, and then you find out later, no, I was just actually gay, or oh, I was just lesbian. I didn't want to do this, and that's why you see a lot of these people detransitioning now. But I know it's a whole separate rant, but that is the point: is that kids on the internet convincing themselves of things is not a reflection of reality. Okay.
at wrong diagnoses. In one bizarre case, teens actually developed physical symptoms.
Teenage girls showing up at their doctor's office with these strange tics, these strange movements, jerking movements. Nobody could figure out why.
Doctors were baffled. It took a team of investigative reporters to solve the mystery.
According to a recent Wall Street Journal article, doctors say all the girls have one thing in common. They're watching TikTok videos of people with Tourette's syndrome, which is a neurological disorder that can cause physical tics.
No wonder TikTok is called the worst social media platform of all. It's pure brain rot. This next brain rot problem destroys the innocence of kids. Inappropriate content for kids.
Oh yeah, this is probably the worst.
Kids who spend all their time online don't have to go looking for adult content. It finds them. First, they stumble upon viral memes that might be funny for an adult, but can be extremely harmful for a child. For example, there are plenty of instances of children quoting the Haktua meme without understanding what it means. There's even a children's song about Haktua that stayed up on YouTube Kids for 3 days. We've also seen kids making jokes about P. Diddy and baby oil. That's not something a child should know about, but
in a dark, twisted way, it's kind of funny. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, these kids should not be... Like, the fact that there was, like, a Hawk Tua song on YouTube Kids for 3 days is kind of crazy. It's kind of funny, but it's like, what the fuck? What are y'all doing? Like, what is YouTube doing that they let this happen? But at the same time, it's like, yeah, these kids should not be talking about any of this. What are they doing?
Inappropriate jokes are just the beginning. Once a kid falls into toxic content, it only gets worse. Some as young as 9 are addicted to mature videos. Others watch real-life gore and fetish content, and this exposure changes them. They start talking and acting differently. Some get so edgy they want to get physical with the cops.
And then he has to provide his ID.
Yeah, you know what?
Yes.
Y'all know what? The police, the free...
Cringe. But also, yeah, that's why. And what's crazy is all these sites kind of encourage adult sexual content too, which is kind of fucked.
And then he has to provide his ID.
Yeah, you know what?
Yes.
Y'all know what? The police, the Freemasons suck my...
Although TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter try to filter the worst content, kids still find it because they're always online. Before we explain the next way brain rot is destroying Generation Alpha, there's one question we need to answer. If brain rot content is so bad, why do creators keep making it? Getting rich from brain rot.
Yep.
Brain rot isn't just about too much screen time. It's also about the fast, flashy content kids watch online that messes with their brains.
You can use it in 2 ways. You could say, that's brain rot. Yes. Or you can say, that video gave me brain rot. 2 ways.
While brain rot content is destroying Gen Alpha, it's making those creating it filthy rich. Let's look at the numbers. Starting with one of the worst offenders, CoComelon. Right now, CoComelon's YouTube channel has 189 million subscribers and 1,400 videos.
Dang, only that many? Dude, that's actually kind of crazy. I thought they had way more videos, but yeah, these guys were developing a lab.
And those videos have been watched 196 billion times. And every single one of those views puts money in their pockets. However, their biggest payday came in 2021 when the studio behind CoComelon was sold for $3 billion. But CoComelon isn't the only show cashing in on brain rot. According to Forbes, the Baby Shark dance video earns around $283,000 each month. That's about $9,400 a day.
And you know what's crazy? People thought that Baby Shark was invented by them. No, Baby Shark has been around forever. As somebody who, I know it's going to sound cringe, but I did theater in high school and I did some theater in college. Okay. There was a vocal exercise that we did. We go, Baby Shark, do, 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 do. Baby Shark, do, 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 do. Baby Shark, do, 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 do. But you would do the Baby Shark, do, 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 do. You would do that so that you're getting your voice ready, but also you're working on your timing on words. Baby Shark, do, 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 do. Baby Shark, do, 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 do. Right, so you're doing the things to time yourself, or I guess not time you pacing. But yeah, that's been around forever. And the fact that people thought that that was invented then is kind of crazy.
We can't talk about brain rot shows without Skibbity Toilet. It's a nonsensical YouTube series about toilets with human heads in the bowls, but it gets over 30 million views per video and could earn up to $23 million per year from
it's
YouTube.
sold at Walmart.
Alone.
It's crazy.
But it's not just videos. Even social media platforms are worsening brain rot by making their apps more addictive. Scrolling on TikTok has been compared to playing a slot machine in a casino. Every short video gives a tiny hint of dopamine, making users more addicted. Now, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram are copying TikTok, pushing short videos to keep people hooked. And it's paying off. Here's a table showing how much social media platforms earn in 2024. It ranges from $800 million to $80 billion. Despite the warnings, nobody is stopping. If anything, they're doubling down because brain rot is a gold mine. This next problem is serious because it affects Gen Alpha's daily life.
So you're saying, okay, well, how do they keep getting rich if the people get dumber? So that's the whole trap. It's like kind of in the same way that a drug addict needs more drugs, because the brain rot is becoming so massive and they're losing so much brain power. They need to fill it. So it's like it's an addiction. It really is, of the mind.
A generation that can't communicate.
They are actually
Watch this video and see if you understand what this kid is saying.
Diddities and diddy men, keep your phantom high, but Sigma's higher. And remember, it's just alcohol.
Sounds like complete nonsense, right? But believe it or not, this is how many Gen Alpha kids talk now. It's called brain rot slang.
I do a GRWM for my OOTD, but I don't have the proper ring like they tell me I need.
This slang only makes sense if you're deep into online culture. Otherwise, it's gibberish. It's so frustrating that a TV show host brought her own Gen Alpha son on live television just to explain this bizarre.
And you know, okay, this is going to be more telling of me. When the kid was talking with standing up on the chair, I actually understood what he was saying, but that's because I'm on the internet. And now I'm starting to question my life. Did they get me? Am I hooked? Have I been got? Have they got me? Did I get got?
A way of speaking.
When you say skibbity toilet, what are you talking about? Are you just talking about that? Or is it just a funny thing to say?
But every brain rot word has a meaning. Riz is short for charisma, only in Ohio refers to anything that's strange or random. And skibbity can mean good, cool, bad, evil, or dumb, depending on the context. There are so many of these terms that someone started a brain rot dictionary to keep track. But brain rot slang is not a laughing matter. Many teachers have noticed that kids who speak brain rot struggle to switch back to normal English. It's like they're forgetting how to talk properly. But at least teenagers can still talk. Toddlers, on the other hand, are losing their ability to speak at all. My mother shared her experience with CoComelon, one of the worst brain rot shows. My youngest was watching CoComelon almost every day, and I just thought he was taking a bit longer with his speech. But after I cut it out, his speech picked up almost instantly. He started saying simple words like mama and dada that he hadn't said before.
Wait, what? So as soon as they got their baby, they put them on an iPad? Is no one catching that? Am I the only one that... Hold up, let me hear that. Did I hear that correctly? So...
Rot shows. My youngest was watching CoComelon almost every day, and I just thought he was taking a bit longer with his speech. But after I cut it out, his speech picked up almost instantly. He started saying simple words like mama and dada that he hadn't said before. There's a reason.
Fuck that parent. I'm sorry, but that's a terrible
Reason for this. For starters, the scenes in CoComelon change every 1 to 3 seconds.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. 1.
It's so fast that kids barely have time to process what's happening on screen. Secondly, the colors in CoComelon are at maximum saturation, which can overwhelm a child's developing brain. Last but not least, CoComelon has repetitive songs and high-pitched sounds, all designed to grab and hold a child's focus.
And all of that is happening simultaneously. The child is being overstimulated.
And that overstimulation comes with consequences.
Instead of the child singing along or, rehearsing the lessons in the show, they are just mesmerized by what is happening. All of the different senses that are being stimulated in the moment of watching, and it actually causes them to become nonverbal.
It's a national crisis. A 2023 survey found that 1 in 5 children were behind with their talking and understanding of words.
Who do we blame? Who do we blame? Who do we blame? These cringe parents.
That's the highest number ever recorded. Talking is how people express themselves. So what happens when an entire generation grows up only knowing how to speak in brain rot? Or worse, what happens when they can't speak at all? Following the cool kids.
Yup.
Brain rot has trained Gen Alpha not to think. So when a new TikTok trend goes viral, they don't stop to ask, is this a bad idea? They just jump in, and sometimes it ends in disaster. Take the outlet challenge. Kids were shoving coins into electric sockets just to make sparks fly. Or the devious licks challenge, where kids filmed themselves stealing from their own schools. And those who got caught got in trouble.
Friend's been expelled from school for riding his scooter after hours and stealing a handicap parking sign from the school.
And worst of them all, the blackout challenge. That one was fatal. This isn't just about dumb TikTok trends, it's about an entire generation of kids losing their ability to learn.
So I think people are going to say to this one that, oh, stuff like this has always been around. Yes, but what makes this a serious issue is that there was always stuff like this, but at the rate and stuff like this happened there was a lot of space in between, right? It didn't happen as frequent, but because of TikTok and YouTube Shorts and Facebook and the brain rot that is happening, these terrible trends are hitting the mainstream much quicker, holding their position there for much longer, and being replaced almost immediately with another one. It's like it's happening at a quicker and stronger rate, whereas in the past it would be like one every year, 2 maybe, right? But it's happening so quick. And this happens to adults, because let's not forget the standing on the crates challenge, where people were paralyzing themselves by falling on crates.
The dumb generation. Brain rot has messed with Gen Alpha's brains so badly they can't even study.
We are in a crisis mode in American schools.
On TikTok, videos about Gen Alpha struggling to read have almost 417 million views.
I teach 7th grade, they are still performing on the 4th grade level.
Even the kids who can read can only handle simple sentences or scan headlines, but ask them to read something longer or more complex, they shut down. And then there's the problem of low attention spans.
They can't even attend to a video. They can't even attend to a 3-minute video clip. I can play it, I can tell them what it's going to be about, I can summarize what the video did, and not a single one can tell me what the video was about.
As if being distracted and unable to read wasn't bad enough, Gen Alpha is also making their teachers' lives miserable.
Having to teach and work with you guys as children has been the most traumatic experience of my life. They don't respect any authority. You ask them, can you stand in your designated spot? They're telling you no and shut up.
Because people on TikTok, adults, want to say, oh, well, you can't tell me what to do. I'm an intellectual. And most of these people are jobless and just sitting on the internet all day.
2023, reading and math scores among 13-year-olds in the US fell to their lowest levels in decades. That's solid proof brain rot is destroying the education of an entire generation.
And we are expecting them to go to college and obtain jobs when they cannot even comprehend basic skills.
Brain rot.
But don't worry, guys. We got to coddle them and save the Department of Education that keeps lowering the education standards for everybody. Yeah, we're good.
Content won't disappear because it's too profitable. But parents can control what their kids watch, and that choice changes everything. More importantly, kids need time away from their screens. And if you're Gen Alpha and you're watching this, here's my advice. Don't let brain rot ruin your future. Visual venture.
Go read a book. Go outside. Literally go outside and socialize. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Is this as bad as it's going to get? Is it much worse? Did you disagree with what I said, or you agree with what I said? I keep saying that, but skibbity toilet riz brain rot. Anyway, love you guys. Check out the next one. Bye-bye. This video is brought to you, actually, by viewers like you. Thank you so much for subscribing and being part of my journey and allowing me to be a part of yours. Let's create new memories this 2025 on our road to 1 million subscribers. And with all that jazz out of the way, I just want to say thank you so much. I love y'all and enjoy the video.